third floor apartment. It says she tried to use an electronic key to open the door, but it was already open. She walked inside and told investigators it was totally dark when she noticed a large silhouette. Geiger says she thought John was a burglar and shot him after he ignored her commands. It wasn't until a 911 operator asked for her location that she says she noticed she was in the wrong apartment. So with me now is John's family attorney, S. Lee Merritt. So, Mr. Merritt, thank you so much for being with me. Of course, our condolences to the family.
I'll pass those along, Brooke. Thank you for having me.
I know that you and this family do not accept the official account from the arrest documents from police. You tell me why, and how do you explain how this officer ended up in a home that wasn't hers?
Much of the affidavit just simply doesn't comport with common sense. The latter part of your question, how do I explain what happened? Unfortunately, I can't. Typically, I have some sort of theory of what happened in this case. Here, I have no idea. I do know that certain statements within this affidavit are demonstratively false. For example, that door being ajar, those doors close automatically unless Botham propped it open because he was expecting a guest or something, and I'm making up excuses. It wouldn't have been open. And so what the family knows, what all the friends know, what everyone I've talked to about Botham knows, is that he wouldn't have propped that door open. He's a very meticulous accountant. Somebody who's intentional in everything that they do. He doesn't prop doors open when they're expecting guests. And I've spoken to people who were interacting with him minutes before this happened. He wasn't expecting any guests. And so what actually happened is still a big mystery, but I know that what's stated in this affidavit is simply untrue.
You said you had a theory as to why she ended up in the wrong apartment? What's your theory?
No. I said typically I would have a theory.
Oh, and you don't have a theory in this case.
I have no theory here.
I got you. I understand after all this happened, two witnesses, and you tell me, I believe the two witnesses went separately, came forward saying that they did hear something. Is that correct? Can you tell me what those witnesses said?
Yeah, so the two witnesses are actually roommates, and one was in the living room, the other one was in her bedroom. One was in the living room watching television, the other in her bedroom. They both heard a knock or a pounding on the door. The one who was closer to the scene in her bedroom reading a book, she heard pounding followed by a female's voice saying, "Open up, let me in." She said the voice didn't sound like an officer command, but sounded like someone who wanted to be let into the apartment. She said that was shortly followed by the sound of gunshots and the sound of a man's voice saying what she believed to be, "Oh my God, why did you do that?" Again, I have a difficult time figuring out how those facts play into what we know. But I know that if a door is locked, there's no one pounding on it. I'm sorry, if a door is open, there's no one pounding.
There wouldn't be anyone pounding on it to let them in. Why do you know? Did this officer and Mr. John, did they know each other?
No one that I know who has a personal relationship with both of them can connect these two in any meaningful way. The only connection that we have been able to make is she is his immediate downstairs neighbor. And there were noise complaints from the immediate downstairs neighbors about whoever was upstairs, and that would have been both of them. In fact, there was a noise complaint that very day about upstairs activity in Botham's apartment. Botham received a phone call about noise coming from his apartment from the downstairs neighbor.
Hello and welcome to Whisper2Scream. My name is Bernard and I am your host. Please tell the security guard at the bank, tell the young lady walking her dog to check us out here on Whisper2Scream. You can find us on YouTube and Facebook at Coon Tunes Productions. That's KOONTOONS Productions. You can also find us on Instagram at Coon Tunes, the number 2. And we have a lot to talk about. The clip you viewed is the attorney for the Botham Jean family. Mr. Jean was murdered by a policewoman named Amber Geiger, who said she mistook his apartment for her own and accidentally shot and killed him. If you've been watching us, and you know we do follow up on compelling stories. This is one of those compelling stories, and we will update you as this story develops. This follow-up, once again, is about Bunny. She is a witness who came forward telling a different story from the policewoman. Since she has come forward, Bunny has been harassed, threatened with violence, released from her job, and is fighting just to maintain a living. Bunny is seen here with an interview with podcaster Philip. He's the host of The Advice Show on YouTube. She explained why she stopped giving interviews to the press and about how the media can slant a story to their own liking.
What was the overall theme from the local media and also the national? I mean, did they just want to know information, or they were trying to put words in your mouth? I mean, what was their overall theme?
They all wanted permission to use my video, first and foremost. The majority of them wanted to speak with me. They wanted to do interviews with me. And I actually did do one interview, only under the basis that I would be able to view the interview before they were able to publicize it. They actually chopped up my words a little bit in the interview. They mixed stuff up. They kind of made it seem like I was sympathizing with Amber, saying that she was hysterical and she regretted they kind of made it look like I was defending her. So I did not give them permission to go ahead and air that interview. And after that, I didn't speak with anybody else.
Now, we respect our true police personnel from all ethnic groups, but there is a rogue group out there who, when they don their uniforms and their badges, it causes them to believe they are the judge and the jury. People, the police, who are men and women, do not automatically become superheroes just because of that badge. They are still men and women with the same insecurities, biases, and desires we have. They make mistakes, like the rest of us. Some of them use a uniform to strike back at the faceless bullies they encountered throughout their lives. Some of them use their uniform to exact punishment on the people they feel are inherently criminals. Some use their uniform to support peace and bring order to the communities they serve. The common thread among them is that they are all human. They were told from day one their job is to keep the communities they serve safe from harm and get home to their families. They have a huge responsibility. But if they have an inordinate amount of self-fear or unbridled arrogance, then they become as dangerous as the criminal element they encounter. We cannot afford to ignore obvious assaults on our family members, our communities, and our nation. When we become so apathetic that we view these atrocities as just another day of doing business, then we normalize the slaughter and injustice that permeates our community. We tell the world, it's okay to kill our mothers. It's okay to kill our children or our neighbors. Let's not wait for injustice to hit our doorstep before we holler foul. The celebrated author James Baldwin wrote in a note in support of Angela Davis. She's a famous freedom fighter for all Americans. He wrote, "If they come for you in the morning, they'll be coming for me that night." Stay woke. We want to close this edition of Whisper2Scream with this message from Tyler Perry at the 2019 BET Awards a few days ago. Listen closely to what he's saying. Okay, apparently there are some copyright issues with broadcasting the Tyler Perry speech on BET, so we want to paraphrase his relevant words. He said he built his studios in a poor black neighborhood so that young black kids could see a black man who owns his own business. He also said while folks are out here fighting for a seat at the table of acceptance, he will continue to grind to build his own table. And he closed by iterating, there are people attached to your dreams, so own up to your dreams, work towards them. Now we here at Whisper2Scream want to add this. We are all afraid to step out of our comfort zone, but do it. No matter how young you are, no matter how old you are, there is no deadline on dreams. As always, be blessed and stay woke.